All right, I'm on hole number 8 of the 2020 Spring Major. I'm in Tuesday's qualifying round in the Ricky division. I've got my dog Buster is trying to tear my shoelaces off my shoe. So I've got one of those spectators that's like grabbing your leg while you're trying to take a shot. So let's go to Golf Clash Notebook and check out this hole. Hole number 8. Hole number 7 is wrong in Golf Clash Notebook. They've got the wrong hole in there. So that is not right. And they haven't updated their site in a long time since the winter major. I'm not exactly sure why they've abandoned the site and nobody's picked it up. So what I'd like to do here is bring out a Power 5 ball so that I can really go for it. But I have a limited selection of Power 5 balls here. So what I think I'm going to do is hit from this pad. Now the last time this was in a tournament, I actually liked the shot of going from, let me zoom back a little bit. I actually liked the shot, although it was trickier as far as like you got to hit this perfect of coming over here from the tee box as opposed to going over here, because you had a much better, you could get the ball to come further forward in this zone than you could if you were out in this area here, especially with the angle from the tee box. So here I could put a little bit of curl on it, and I really had room for that curl to become effective. So from the tee box to this point right here, you've got this straight line. And if you came in at it with a little bit of curl, you could bring the ball around and you could end it up more out in this area. Whereas if I was going in this direction, as far as forward distance, I would run into this rough and lose a little bit of distance. But this is a really narrow little spot to land on, so I have no idea which way I'm going to do this. I've been playing with my upper developed account where I bring out a Power 5 ball and I go right over to the other side. And if you've got a bigger extra mile, especially if you got an extra mile 8, you can get your second bounce so that it's clear up here in the front of the sand trap. It is a max overpower shot, and so there is a little bit of risk if you don't hit it perfect that you could end up bleeding off in the sand or the rough on either side. Hey, that's my shooting finger, buddy. So I'll have to see how I'm going to play this because I'm not sure. I have done zero practice in this account. You have a room full of toys and you got to come over here and mess with me? Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? It's your rope. It's your rope. You little teething bastard. So let's see what my club options are. Extra mile. That bag will work. Big topper. That bag will work. My big topper is still 2.5 per ring, and my extra mile is 2.1. It would be better to take a big topper if I can, just because you will net more yards if you're not doing. You'll net more yards with a big topper and a Titan than you will with an extra mile and a Titan. We'll try it. We'll see if I can hit that little zone up there. We definitely don't want an epic fail up there at the top. That's the deal. And we definitely don't want to do any overpower. So let's see what we got going on here. I'm trying to wing it. So if I go straight forward, I got plenty of room out there on that. As far as like on the first landing zone, I have plenty of room. Yeah. I guess I'll go this way. It looks pretty safe. I know that you can net more forward distance going the other way. I'm going to take the wind out. So it's 2.5. That leaves me 1. So that's 1 2/5. I'm going to put the power back in it. So I took the side wind out and put the power back in. I'm not going to do any overpower. Oh, I got serious lag right there. That'll put me in the rough way up here in the front. The good news is that you can recover from the rough. The bad news is I bought a machete. My ball guide blows. The areas where I would end up in the rough, I'm going to switch. I think I'm going to switch my I think I'm going to switch my rough iron to the. I'm going to have to look at my rough iron options and find one that's got better ball guide. I like the backspin on a machete, and it's got pretty good distance when you're talking about lower level stuff. It's got pretty good distance, but the ball guide on it is killer. And I'm not sure that I have anything that's got any better ball guide, to be honest with you. There's max. So we're getting towards max. There's 3/4. There's max. There's mid. I'm at 3/4, so it's in the 3 per ring range. A little bit of backspin on it, just to whoa it up. .6. I'm going to do a ring. Hitting it perfect. We'll see how close I got on that wind adjustment. Pretty close. Woo! I'm never really afraid of taking those rough iron shots, other than the fact that the needle's going faster. I feel like I always feel like I have just as good a shot with my rough iron. You know, like I have a shot at it. I see a lot of people, they end up in the rough and then they just nonchalantly shoot it up there because they're like, I'm in the rough. My rough iron shoots like crap. Those rough irons, if you take those shots seriously and learn how to adjust the wind on those rough irons, you can sink a lot of shots. I've been pretty successful with my rough iron and my sand wedge, but it did take me a while to figure out, like, because they hit different. If you look at my playlist, there's a AAA strategy and guide playlist. There's a video in there that talks about how I calculate wind adjustments for my rough iron and my sand wedge, because they're different, and it walks you through my thought process. And that way you can kind of work it for your clubs. And the deal is it's definitely something you want to work for your clubs. All right, that was hole number 8. Got a little lucky. Picked one up. Hole number 8 of the 2020 Spring Major and Tuesday's qualifying round in the Reiki division. Thanks for watching.